She called me and told me she was stranded. You want to explain what happened to your Escalade with the power steering real quick?
It just stopped steering. I couldn't move it. Like I had to muscle it and it still wouldn't move.
So you just left it there?
So I had to leave it.
Leave it.
I couldn't drive it.
Yep. Things break. Maintenance needs to be done. I understand. But sometimes things are a little overdone. Sometimes things are a little over-engineered. Why does everything have to be so fancy? Why do we have to improve on things that were never broken? Cars originally didn't have power steering, meaning everyone was manually, forcefully trying to steer their cars. Then an engineer came up with a genius idea of a hydraulic power steering system, which helps vehicles turn cars with hydraulic power, making it easier to steer. It's a very simple technology. Every vehicle had it at some point. Then another engineer came along and said, I think we can improve this. Instead of making it hydraulic, let's make it electric. Electric power steering came into place. Instead of hydraulic and belts and pumps, it's all powered by a computer and electric motors. Electric motors break. And in this case, today's video left my wife stranded in her Cadillac Escalade, Platinum ESV, blah, blah, blah. Everything is over-engineered. Why can't we just go back to simpler times? In today's video, we're going to figure out what it costs instead of replacing a power steering pump to replace an electronic power steering motor, I hope, or fuse, I really hope, or do we have to replace an entire power steering rack because of a motor? That didn't used to be a thing. It is now. My name is Craig from Flying Wheels. How much is this going to cost me? Let's get going and find out. So today is a fun day because yesterday I had to rescue my wife's Escalade from the car pickup line. So she dropped my son off. Everything's fine. Everything's been fine. You can see we're in Florida. She gets back in her Escalade, now 2016 Escalade ESV Platinum, 70,000 miles, already done an engine, already have the transmission shuttering. Now, when I start the car, we have no power steering. No power steering. And if you look right here, power steering, drive with care, get it serviced. Okay, no problem, right? Let's check the power steering fluid. Even my wife said, oh, I tried to check the power steering fluid, which I was really surprised about. So she tried to check the power steering fluid, and what we find is there is no power steering pump. Typically, there's a power steering pump right here. You can check the fluid. Why does this not have power steering fluid? It has an electronic power steering pump. Cool. All right, very technologically advanced. Turn something that is hydraulic and mechanical into something electronic, and you end up with more issues. So 70,000 miles, we're having power steering problems. I cannot move this car really easily. You'll see my golf carts right here. We usually take the golf carts to pick up the kids from school or drop them off. However, wifey took the Escalade the other day, her car, to go drop my son off at school. She called me and told me she was stranded. You want to explain what happened to your Escalade with the power steering real quick?
It just stopped steering. I couldn't move it. Like I had to muscle it and it still wouldn't move.
So you just left it there?
So I had to leave it.
Leave it.
I couldn't drive it.
Yep. I will give her all the credit. She couldn't move the car. The steering wheel will not move without it in motion. Now when the vehicle is moving, you're able to move the steering wheel. As you can see here, very, very difficult. I'm using my Kung Fu grip. I cannot do this with one hand and hold the camera. I'm gonna hit that tree. All right, we made it. So I live in Florida now. There's scams galore down here. So I picked up this Vantrue Nexus 4 dash cam, which I'm going to install right now. It comes with everything you see here, including the front facing camera, rear facing camera, the 256 gig car, the easy install kit, and then we have our hardwired dash cam kit as well. I was able to wire it up through the roof, down the pillar, and then through here. So you can see all the wiring just tucked right up in here. I'll get that put back in place. If I connect device right here, it connects to my camera in the car. Now here it is right here. You can see both me inside the car waving, as well as what I'm seeing right in front of me. Now if I go to the front of the car, here I am right here. You can see me and everything around me, as well as I have a camera in the rear that's recording from behind it. I can take a photo, I can store photos, I can even hear the audio inside the car, turning the mic on and off. If I go here, I can see how long people have been driving, their drive time, total time, their average speed. So this is perfect for first-time drivers. It comes in 2160 by 1080p, 30 frames per second. Here is the power outlet, as well as a charging cord for any phone and device that I want to use. And then if I go to the rear of the car, you can see I have my camera right here as well, and it's wired right through the ceiling up to the front camera. I opted for the easy install, which took me less than 15 minutes. They also have a hardwire kit that comes with the camera that you can use to hardwire the camera right into the car. And my Vanture Nexus Pro 4 has been installed in my wife's Escalade for over a week now. I feel comfortable and safe knowing that it's in her car. It's almost Christmas time, so if you're looking for a gift for that special somebody, there is a link in my description. You can get them on Amazon and on Vanture.com. Try one out for yourself.
30-minute later.
So now that the vehicle's in motion, I can actually use the vehicle kind of safely, not really, but vehicles didn't have power steering pumps for a long time. So now, to be technologically advanced, to move with the times, everything is electronic power steering. So the pump is on the rack. I try to check every single fuse. There is no fuse. Sometimes the fuses will blow on the electronic power steering. This one doesn't have a fuse that I could find anywhere. I couldn't find it in the forums, I couldn't find it in the technical service bulletins, I couldn't find it anywhere. I can't take a right because this guy's here. I'm gonna take a wide turn. Look at how close I am because I'm doing it with one hand, which is, I know, unsafe, but I'm actually out of breath. So I don't have a choice. I just moved to Florida. I don't really know anybody. I'm kind of in a tight spot. I have to go to the Cadillac dealer to have them look at it and diagnose it. It is $215 to have them diagnose what's wrong with this vehicle. Now, if it's a fuse, 215 bucks. If it's a power steering rack, $215 to tell me it needs, needs a power steering rack, $215, thank you very much. You can't just replace a power steering pump. Now in my head, originally, when she told me what was going on, I thought, okay, maybe it's a serpentine belt. Maybe the serpentine belt snapped. It did not. Okay, where's the power steering pump? Well, there's no power steering pump. Okay, I found it. The power steering pump is on the rack. The entire rack has to be replaced instead of the power steering pump. There's no problem with the rack. The electronic power steering pump is what's wrong, and you need to replace the entire thing. So today we're going to the Cadillac dealer. I'm just gonna pay them to tell me what's wrong with it, and you're gonna find out what these common problems and symptoms are. Also, we have a transmission shutter at 70,000 miles, so I'm gonna have them look at that as well and tell me what's going on. So a few minutes, we're gonna be at the Cadillac dealer. $215 an hour labor rate. They don't have a courtesy shuttle or a loaner vehicle, so that's why my bicycle is in the back as well. We're at the dealership now. They're going through it. She's already gone through it, saw that the service was at 29% for oil life, recommended an oil change. Very friendly, very helpful. I'm curious to see what this bill is going to be. Is it a fuse that I could find, or are they just going to go directly to the, it's going to need an entire rack, which I'm assuming service, sales. Yep, you need an entire rack. I'm guessing that, but it would be amazing if they said, yep, we fixed the problem, found a broken wire or something like that. While we're here, let's check out some other vehicles. A Cadillac CT4V. That's a 6-cylinder turbo, I believe. Let's go check. Good looking car. Now I'm gonna sell my Cybertruck. I'm picking up an E-Ray this week, 2.7 liter, 4-cylinder turbo V. So what are you getting with the CT4? Is that what the Ford in CT4 is, 4-cylinder? Cool looking. Now one of my favorites isn't actually a Cadillac at all. Follow along, you know I love and hate electric vehicles. We are at the Chevy dealer, and the new Avalanche Silverado is amazing. I love this truck so much. 24-inch wheels. This is essentially what the Avalanche was. This is the newer Avalanche. You have the same side steps. You have the step into the bed, you have the tailgate that folds down 3 different ways. You have the convertible rear window, so that window stays in, the wall folds down, watertight with the wall down, or the windows removable. You have a full second row back seats. It's luxurious, it's comfortable, it's electric. It is also $100,000. So, an Avalanche was never $100,000, but you go and get yourself the electric Avalanche, Silverado they call it, 100 grand, $96,000 for that truck. $96,000 for that truck. While we're here, let's check out some Corvettes. Right off the bat, we have a Z06 window sticker of $128,000, which isn't much more than my E-Ray. Kind of thinking I should have gone for the Z06, but the E-Ray is, you know, the newest variation. There aren't a lot out there.
So I wanted one to try it out. I got it in this blue, and you'll notice the front end is different on your standard Corvettes, your C8s, versus the Z06.
And then the E-Ray has the Z06 cosmetic package, so it looks like it's basically like your Grand Sport body package, which would look like your Z06, although it isn't, but still the quickest.
Wow, look at that car.
Still the quickest Corvette ever produced.
So here's your E-Ray. You're getting the same front end as the Z06 versus the C8. Forged wheels, bigger rotors, calipers.
Sitting in E-Ray.
Z06.
So that E-Ray, black, what you're getting is the Z06 is like you have your ZR1, which is unattainable. Then you get your Z06, which revs to near 10,000 RPM, and it's unbelievable track car for the road. Below that, you get your E-Ray, which is your Grand Sport package. So you have the Z06 look. The front end, the side, it's a wider body, bigger wheels, bigger tires, bigger discs and rotors. You get the Grand Sport as everything the Z06 has minus the engine package. That's the E-Ray. So now you're getting the 6.2 mid-engine, but also dual electric motors in the front. So it is the quickest Corvette ever produced. That E-Ray had a $30,000 markup. I'm buying one at MSRP. So I don't know if there's still markup on those because that car is still sitting here, but it's really cool to see that they're asking a market adjustment and I'm getting it for actually below MSRP because I waited and ordered ahead of time. So I feel pretty good about that. So it's been 45 minutes. I brought my bicycle just in case they weren't working on the car right away. So I waited for 45 minutes. They haven't even moved my Escalade. Actually, they did. That's not true. They moved it a mile away into a parking lot. So I'm taking my bike to the gym with my gym bag, briefcase. This is a mistake. Both of them weigh too much and they're choking me from either side.
And I'm driving along the highway.
To get to that, I won't even need the gym when I'm done after this bike ride.
3 weeks later.
Well, the Escalade is back. 3 weeks. We were without an Escalade. My wife had to use the Range Rover, which I actually sold in a previous video, so you can see how out of order my videos sometimes are. The Escalade is finished. Let's see what was done, how much it cost me, all because power steering rack motor went. Not the rack, the motor. Let's see how much it cost me. Da-da-da! Flying wheels. Let's go over here. Keeps a nice clean car, I see. Lovely. Funny thing about the Escalade, glove box opens right here. Let's see how much it cost us. Before I jump right into the receipt, let me tell you that the dealership, new car dealership, wanted $2,800, I think it was at the beginning of this video, and that included them having to program the power steering rack. Program the power steering rack. You can't just do a four-wheel alignment. You have to do a four-wheel alignment. Also have to program it. So just computers just getting in the way, causing more problems, adding to the expense. So you'll see right here, electronic power steering rack was $1,570. I had to order that from the Cadillac dealer. Like an aftermarket one was $1,200. So for $300 more, we got one from the Cadillac dealer. The dealership did. Got one, the mechanic did. Got one from the dealership. So I have an OEM or OE direct replacement from the dealer. So for like $300 more, it comes with a longer warranty and blah, blah, blah. I had them do the sway bar bushings while they were in there. The alignment was $100, which stinks because I don't have any commercial accounts yet. I get my alignments for $49.99 in New Hampshire. So I doubled that. I paid retail. Ugh, it's killing me to pay retail on things because I don't have my mechanic in my shop right now. Labor to install the bushings, $117. The steering gear, complete, remove and replace, includes manual power rack and pinion, worm ball and nut, rack and pinion assembly. Adjust does not include transfer of components. $415 to install. Then we have program electronic rack, $230. So I mentioned the rack. Now normally you put the rack in, hydraulic fluid, connect all the lines, reverse that, connect all the lines, install, fill the hydraulic fluid, inner tie rod, outer tie rod, four-wheel alignment, done. But because it's an electronic power steering rack, it is an additional $230 to program, which had to be done at the dealer. You can't have anyone else do it because it's proprietary. So you have to pay Cadillac $160 an hour rates or $210 an hour rates, whatever they charge, I forget by the end of this video, to program it, even though it took 10 minutes to program it, hook it up to their computer that's proprietary. No one else has access to it. Pay them to do it. In total, $2,652. Now, I'm going to include a screenshot of the previous generation's Cadillac Escalade, so 2007 to 2013's hydraulic power steering rack. Right here. The most expensive one's $271, so we're talking $1,300 more because it's electronic, and the rack wasn't even what failed. So there's a couple morals to this story, or points to this video. Really, I don't know why I made this video, except maybe to just complain about over-engineering. Is it necessary to have an electronic power steering rack? I guess there's no power steering fluid leaking onto my driveway when that happens, when it leaks. But the cost of repair on over-engineered vehicles is substantial. And we're not just talking about Escalades, where everything is going electric motors.
Are you going to talk about how the screen doesn't work now?
Yes, I forgot about that. The screen also doesn't work. So, with these fancy schmancy cars, even though this thing is filthy, the screen doesn't work. So this is the second time I've replaced this screen, and nothing happens when I push the screen. It loses sensitivity to the screen, and nothing works. You can see everything, but when you touch, nothing happens. And as you can see, there's no knobs here, so I can't control anything. I can't turn my phone on, I can't change the radio station, nothing. Now, this is the second time I've replaced that screen. They're not expensive on Amazon. They're maybe $40 to $60 in a few hours worth of your time. But you go to the dealership, it's over $1,500 for them to replace that screen, because they'll say, oh, replace the radio and blah, blah, blah. It's not, it's the screen, the glass, plastic, whatever it is, needs to be replaced. I've already done this. This car now has 72,000 miles. I bought it with 60,000 miles. We had to replace the cam because it was worn, as well as all of the lifters because they prematurely wore the cam because of the defective active fuel management. Add into the fact that the transmission was flunking in and out of gear, which is a common problem in all GM trucks, which Chevy told me they fixed under an extended warranty. We will see. I haven't even really driven it aside from the mechanics back to here. So that might be a whole other video on defective transmissions with GM. Another moral of the story that I learned, I could have just paid the dealer the $2,700 and it would have been over with. I paid $250 to have them diagnose it. They would have applied it towards the repairs. It was $2,700. I ended up paying $2,700. They still had to do the program from the dealer. The part still came from the dealer, and I lost my $250 diag fee that would have been credited towards the repairs. So by having someone else do it actually cost me more money than having the dealer do it. So, and it took an extra 2 weeks because I was shopping around for prices. A lot of lessons for myself in this video. I'm probably done buying these things, but I like luxury. I like style. I like, you know, it's kind of a cool looking truck. It fits my entire family. It can tow well. It has all the amenities that I like. So I guess you got to pay to play would be another moral of the story. Whatever. I guess maybe this was just another crying wheels video. I'm not really sure. But point is, maybe don't buy these things. Maybe if you're Cadillac or GM watching these things, maybe stop engineering stuff, because your 6.0 was an amazing engine. Incredible. One of the best vehicles ever made. Was probably 2000 to 2007, even 2007 to 2013, better than this generation. You guys keep over-engineering things, and everything is made less reliable. So if somebody from GM, Chrysler did it too, why get rid of the 4-liter straight inline 6, right? Why get rid of the best engine ever made? I don't know. You gotta make things bigger and better and save on gas mileage, so whatever. Oh, and don't forget, if you're looking for a dash cam, try the Vantrue Nexus 4 with the link in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all later. Adios.